This is a hero game, but is it a superhero game?
Let's review it. This is the review for the board game Marvel Champions, the card game, the good and bad about it.
By the end of this video, you will know if this game is for you.
We have 6 burning questions that we will answer about this game, but before we do that, what is it all about, Giannis?
In Marvel Champions, each player has their own superhero, and they're fighting against a bad guy. In this case, we're fighting Ultron.
This guy right here, and we could be like Iron Man.
Iron Man's cool. Or Miss Marvel. It's cool too.
Very
it's
cool.
Cooler even.
We can debate about that.
To win, you have to beat the bad guy. You win together or lose together, because this is a co-op game.
You have a lot of heroes to choose from, you have a lot of baddies to defeat, and it's all Marvel-based universe, which is awesome.
So 3 baddies is a lot?
Well, it's an LCG game, which we should mention as well, which means living card game, which means you can buy a lot of cards and add more and more baddies to the game.
In this box, 3, but you can get way more.
To set up this game, you need to choose one of the villains you're gonna play against. In this case, it's Ultron. He has a specific schemes that he wants to fulfill, and we want to stop him. So you have these 2 decks, villain deck and scheme deck. And then you all choose heroes that will try to stop Ultron. And what do heroes do in their turns?
Each round is divided into 2 phases. The first phase is the player phase, where players, one by one, will play cards from their hand. They will activate different actions that they already have available. They can attack, and they can switch between their hero and alter ego. To play any of the cards in the game, you have to pay resources, and resources are the cards themselves. There's a lot of tough decisions. Do I play this card by discarding this card, or the other way around? So let's say I want to play this, I'm gonna play this, discard a card, it's done, but that card is gone. Was that a good decision?
If it's your decision, to probably not.
What? After everyone's done, you refresh your cards, you can discard as many cards as you want, and then refill to your hand size.
What Giannis explained was the easy part, the player's turns. Now the bad things will happen, which is the villain's phase. So in villain's phase, the main villain schemes, his main plan moves forward. Then depending on which form are the heroes in, if you're an alter ego, the villain will scheme. He doesn't attack you, he doesn't know who you are. Although everybody knows who's
Everybody knows. How could he? Yeah, that makes no sense.
Or if you're an Iron Man suit, then the villain will attack you because he wants to fight you. Because this looks very punchable for sure. And then each player will receive 1 encounter card, which is the event that will happen to that specific player.
And once you're done with the villain phase, you pass on the first player token to the next player, and you start the player phase all over again. You continue this way until either you lose by everybody dying, well, being knocked out, but we know it's death. Or the villain advances his scheme so far that he wins automatically. Or you win if you take away all of the villain's hit points.
We're gonna talk a lot more about this game in this video, but we should go to the first question. So this whole thing moves on, and it's better for you and us. And,
Yeah,
you know,
so...
It's better to move on.
Yeah. I mean, the first question is...
It's better to move on, Giannis. Alright?
Who would you buy it for?
3, 2, 1, boom!
LCG hero, Marvel fan alter ego.
What does that mean?
That person needs to like LCGs, CCGs, any customizable card game. Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. They have to be okay with reading a lot of text, creating decks, a lot of interactions. And if they like Marvel, match made in heaven.
If you're a Marvel fan, then you probably will enjoy this. If you're not really a Marvel fan, you might enjoy this, but not as much, because the story is pretty strong with this one. If you have played LCG, then you already know do you need another one. But if you don't have one, then I would actually suggest that this is a pretty good one to start with.
It's a good intro into the genre. I agree. What is the best thing about this game?
La 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 la, life is wonderful.
Yes. Hello there, good things.
It's very, very thematic. That's like my favorite thing.
Sure, you're entitled to your own opinions, even if they're wrong. Continue.
Please.
We haven't gotten to the bad things yet.
Interestingly, all right.
But continue.
We'll see. Powers or cards hit the right spot. When I play out Iron Man's tech cards, I really feel like I'm building this iron suit together with Tony Stark and making it better and better. So that really well represents the story. Marvel fans will enjoy this game. I almost guarantee it. I really like the mechanism of alter ego and hero form.
Yeah, that's very unique.
That's a very unique thing that I haven't seen a lot of.
Okay.
Alter egos is a pretty good thing.
Yeah. Well, I have combos and card interactions. So good to have like this card, then you do this card, then it puts a token there, and then you can do this, and then you can play this, and then get that card back into the box of the basic set. There's 5 heroes. And they feel different. And then they have, at this point, already put out many, many more heroes. From bad guys, there are 3 in this box. They all feel very different. Starting from the Rhino, which is like straightforward, relatively simple. And then with the annoying Ultron with his drones. Jeez, let up already. Should I put Ultron in the bad things if I cannot beat him ever?
No, you should put you at the bad things.
They put out mini campaigns like 3 games long or something. I haven't tried any yet, but I feel that could be a really good thing about this. Just this small campaign that you have to play for 30 hours could be good. You tell us in the comments. Is it good? And then the last thing is, I think it's a good intro into the genre. Just by getting this box, there's everything you need. You can build decks if you want to, if you don't play what you have, and it's a co-op game, so you don't have to play against anybody. And it's a decent solo game as well. It's really easy to set up. Easy to play.
We really rarely go solo.
Yes.
So I think that changes our opinion on that as well. But as a solo game, I can see that people will enjoy this.
And I've played as much solo this than I've played with other people. Do you know what LCG stands for?
No.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
It doesn't work, but you know what you need to do.
What is the worst thing about this game? Ready?
3, 2, 1, boom.
Okay, you might notice that I have the same thing written here that I did before. Yes, it's because I'm lazy, but also it's because it's true. Some of the interactions with the cards sometimes are daunting, especially if you're playing with someone who hasn't played a lot of these types of games. Sometimes, even for me, who has played a lot of games, I have to look up like timings and rules, and it slows down the game. That is not very fun. Here's the correct answer to the previous statement you wrote. It's not very thematic. Everybody together. 3, 2, 1. And not it's you were supposed to. No. Anyway, about not very thematic. Yes, it's Marvel. Yes, there's superheroes, but sometimes it's just okay. So you're in your alter ego form, and then he's scheming and not attacking you. I mean, what? Let's say I'm playing this Kamala Khan, which is not in the base game. Sorry, it's an expansion. And so she goes to school in her alter ego form, and then suddenly what? The Ultron takes a pause and then just schemes and does not destroy. It's slightly confusing for me.
Isn't that how it always goes in Marvel movies?
Oh yeah, you're right. They do take a pause.
It's very thematic.
Wait. Oh, sorry. So it's very thematic. Just didn't feel thematic for me. Showdown is very anticlimactic. For example, there's one game that we both really enjoy. It's called X-Men Mutant Insurrection. Let's go through this one thing. Do you remember Final Showdowns there? Yeah. There was like separate thing. You would put these cards out and you move from one card to the other and roll dice and fight these bad guys. Here, you'll go like, okay, we need to do 8 damage. Can you do 8 damage? Let me think. Yes, I can do 8 damage. I guess we win. Yeah, we win. Okay, thank you. How is this epic? Up to that point, everything feels cool. Arkham Horror LCG has those tokens you draw out of the bag that, like, you know, introduce a random. So that's the one part I feel like is like, could have been a bit more impressive.
There's a lot of management. It's not like overwhelming, I wouldn't say. Especially in the villain's turn, he schemes once. And then you have to check out like all the icons. Then he schemes another time when you need to check all the icons and everything, extra side schemes and stuff like that. And then he attacks you, and you add some of these things, and again and again and again.
This is an accountant type of game. You should have your calculator ready, and you go like 3 schemes. I draw 2 cards. We do 8 damage. We win. Thank you. Next bad guy.
Then there are these obligations, which when I read them, I thought this is freaking cool. An obligation is a card that you put into your villain's deck, and if it comes out, specifically you get that card, and you get a minus for that. Oh, cool, that's somehow gonna, you know, make the story change, or something's gonna happen. All the cards are the same, right? All the obligations are basically the same. And then it was like...
So, wait, you were saying it's very thematic, huh?
Yeah, it is, except that one card. Yeah, and the last question, which is I'm gonna ask you, right? You have played...
I have played all of them, I think.
LCGs and a lot of them. Is this different enough?
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a good question. This felt different to me, that it felt more streamlined Plus, the theme maybe at this point is more welcoming than Lord of the Rings. And I guess it is easier to get into this. How long is the honeymoon?
3, 2, 1, boom. I think there are two main things that move this needle of how long honeymoon will be, and it's the heroes, which are 5 in the core set. Each of them will feel different and will play differently, so those are 5 different games that you will have. And also there are 3 main villains. Yes, there is that simple mode and difficult mode.
Yeah.
But I feel like fun-wise, they don't give much, that harder mode. And it's an LCG, so it's meant for you to buy new stuff and then you can play it forever and more.
It's FFG, baby, so you can extend this indefinitely.
Goes on forever or until your wallet decides that it's over.
What's the best alternative?
3, 2, 1. I went with the obvious one, which is Lord of the Rings, the card game, which we talked previously. It's a heavier version of this game. And the other one, which I thought is actually somehow closer to this.
Because it's also superheroes.
Because it's also superheroes. If you take away the Marvel title and write down Ralphville, then you get the Sentinel's Multiverse, and I feel like it's a simpler version. It's the same gameplay. It's quicker and there's less management to it. Yes, it won't be as attractive as having Iron Man in your deck, but I think it's a good alternative as well.
Yeah. I have Eon's End, which is a co-op deck building game where you build the deck during the game. And you also play together and you're defending against this one bad guy. There are different bad guys in the box and you kind of have heroes, but their differences are not as big as in this game. But it's something different. Final rating.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
I enjoyed this game. I like just the base set. I've played it solo. I played it with 2 and 3 players. I enjoyed the most with 2, then solo, and then 3 players. And I am very excited to play the campaign expansion. That's why my final rating is really good, plus campaign expansion equals fantastic, because I can't tell you because I haven't tried. But I'm very excited to use the same heroes and abilities, but over multiple sessions that kind of make up a story. It sounds like it could be, well, fantastic. And this made me get back into co-op LCGs. I used to play a lot of Lord of the Rings, but I somehow burnt out on it and then just sold everything I had to somebody. Who did I sell it to? I don't remember. Anyways, but just this box here, enough to get that feel to get back into the co-op LCGs. And I'm going to try the expansion, and that's going to be the decider if I keep this in my collection or not.
I wrote down for us mortals. Okay. I'm not a huge Marvel fan, to be honest.
What?
I really like it.
You didn't tell me this!
If there is a Marvel logo, it will never, for me, be like, I have to have this, or this makes it
What are you even
amazing.
saying, man? Are you listening to yourself?
But without that feeling that Marvel is super awesome,
Which it is. Continue.
it's okay. I enjoyed it. If somebody suggests, I will probably play it, enjoy it, but it won't be in my shelf. I won't buy it. Not bad, just okay.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and any other way you can help us. Do you like any Marvel movie?
Yeah, I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. I like the Thor one, the funny one. I don't know. Was it Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Shang-Chi yet?
No. You have?
Yes. Of course I
Was it
have.
good? Was it good?
It was okay.